Hi, my name is Maunder. I'm the founder and CEO of Wordfence, and this year we're exhibiting at Black Hat 2022 in Las Vegas for the very first time. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about what we're launching at Black Hat and what we do as a company. There's this interesting problem that exists that some folks aren't aware of. I've been a network engineer since the 90s and a developer after that, and I've done a lot of thinking about things at the various layers of the OSI. And something that I didn't think about very much until fairly recently was the fact that if you're a hosting company and you're hosting servers for other people and you're renting them space on those servers, and those folks are running web applications, you can't see attacks targeting those web applications, even though they're crossing your own network and they're targeting your own servers where your customers live. And that's thanks to end-to-end encryption, which of course is TLS in the case of the web. And it's kind of weird if you think about it. Like, hosting companies can't see attacks targeting their own customers. And it's by design. You know, end-to-end encryption has done amazing things for privacy and for security. It's really breakthrough. You know, when Netscape came up with SSL, as it was called back in 95, 96, and brought that to the world, it made the web useful. And it really enhanced the security and privacy on the web and allowed us to do things like have e-commerce on the web. But as a result of that, if TLS is doing its job, and if it isn't being man-in-the-middled, intercepted in any way and decrypted and inspected, then anyone hosting a web application or a web server or providing web services for anyone else cannot see attacks crossing their own network and targeting the servers on which those customers are based. Now, there's another interesting aspect here, and that is that if you are a security operations team and you're in charge of securing a big network with a bunch of servers on that are running web applications, you actually can't see attacks originating from the web servers that you're in charge of protecting, because those attacks are HTTPS requests encrypted with TLS. They're end-to-end encrypted, and they're encrypted from when the malware creates the request on the server all the way to whatever the destination is, and often the destination is a command and control server or a target that's being attacked, whether it's brute force or an exploit attempt. Those come in via HTTPS, they're TLS encrypted, they're end-to-end encrypted, and the entity that's in charge of securing the network can't see those attacks crossing their own network. They don't know if those requests that are HTTPS requests are malicious or not. And that could apply to a hosting provider that is renting out server space to a lot of customers. It could apply to some other enterprise that is making server space available to others, perhaps their internal customers, where there's the potential for a malware infection on those servers. And it could apply to governments, governments that are responsible for securing entire countries' networks, are very interested in seeing which of the hosts on their network have a security issue and where they need to roll incident response or mitigate the issue somehow, perhaps notify the owner of the server that they have a problem. So Wordfence Intelligence is what we're launching at Black Hat, and Wordfence Intelligence is designed to solve this. But what I want to do is tell you a little bit about what Wordfence does, what our core business is. We're a WordPress security plugin. We run at the endpoint. We run behind where TLS is terminated, and we secure over 4 million websites. And those customers are regularly attacked by threat actors on the internet, and we see those attacks, we identify them as attacks, and we analyze where the attack is coming from, what exploit was used, what malware payload was attempted to be dropped on the server. And we use that data we distill that data into threat intelligence, and we give that back to those same customers in the form of an IP block list to block those threat actors, in the form of malware signatures to help detect malware if they are compromised, and in the form of firewall rules. So there's this kind of symbiotic relationship where we're monitoring attacks across our fleet of 4 million customers or over 4 million customers, and we're learning from that, and then we're feeding that learning or that intelligence back to our customers and helping keep them secure. Now, we're in this unique position where we can actually see attacks after TLS has been terminated. So we have visibility on who is attacking right now, who is attacked over the last 30 days, what malware they're using, what exploits they're using. And we can give that data to hosting providers to let them know who to block right now. Based on what we're seeing right now. And there's sort of a 30 to 60 minute latency between us observing an attack and us getting that threat intelligence into the hands of a host or a network operator so that they can block. We can tell hosting providers what malware to scan for on their file systems, and we can tell a host what exploits are being used. In other words, what vulnerabilities they should care about most. And by the same logic and for the same reason, we can see which servers on a network are attacking the rest of the web, because we have an attack surface of over 4 million hosts that are being targeted by these servers. And when we see malicious traffic, and we can identify it as malicious because we're sitting behind where TLS is terminated, we know that there's a bad server on such and such a hosting provider's network, or on a certain enterprise network, or within a certain government's network, and we can let them know, hey, you've got a problem here. It looks like this server or these group of IP addresses are originating attacks, and you need to do something about that, or let the owner of that particular infrastructure know that they need to do something about that. So fundamentally, that's what Wordfence Intelligence is. It's a set of data feeds that we're providing to enterprises that will help them, that will give them the situational awareness that they don't have thanks to TLS and end-to-end encryption. And again, TLS is great, end-to-end encryption is great. It's been transformative for the web, but it has some interesting consequences for security operations teams and folks that are defenders. And we have that situational awareness just by the nature of who we are, what we do, and the way our application executes, and we can share that situational awareness with enterprise customers. So that's what we're launching at Black Hat, is Wordfence Intelligence. It's a set of REST API feeds that include a threat feed, which is IP addresses that are attacking right now and have attacked over the last 30 days, with detailed metadata on each IP address, showing the kinds of attacks that have been launched, the frequency of attacks in the last 4 hours, 24 hours, 7 days, and the last 30 days. And then we're also including malware signatures in Yara format. These are the malware signatures that we observe across our attack surface and that you should be scanning for on your file systems or on your network. And then we also include a detailed or a comprehensive and very up-to-date vulnerability database. And that database is WordPress-specific because that's our field of expertise when it comes to vulnerabilities. But the attacks and the threat actors that we observe across the web, they range beyond just WordPress. We're able to observe attacks on things like the Log4j vulnerability, on VMware vulnerabilities, and that kind of thing. So if you are a defender, if you're part of an enterprise, if you are working for a hosting provider in their security operations team, or you work for a government and you're interested in securing the networks that you're responsible for, definitely do visit us at Black Hat if you're able to. We are between the main entrance and Innovation City or Village, I forget which it's called. And we're booth 2514. And if you're not at Black Hat and you're attending virtually, thanks for watching. And if you want to learn more, email us at sales@wordfence.com, or you can visit us at wordfence.com/blackhat, and we'd love to hear from you.